Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Valley Midnight. I am your host Nick. First of all, I'd like to thank all of you who have been watching my episodes since day one. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you all watching my episodes. I just wish you guys could comment more, trust me. As for everybody who I've been talking to, I'd like to thank all of you from work, all my friends, coworkers, all of you who have been giving me feedback, which I appreciate much more than anything. Thank you. Now I can reassure I can work on the second season and try to bring out new and hopefully much more exciting episodes, if not stories, and yes, even shorter openings. So please, if you can, please like, subscribe, and comment, because you don't know how invaluable that information is for me. And now, on to the story. This story will be quite the tell, as even for me, I was very little when this event had happened. So as usually I like to go through these type of stories, I always say these stories are based on mostly truth, although I do, for entertainment purposes, do provide a much more detailed, in-depth explanation to each story. So although it is not 100% true as it comes to the way the story is told, the events in which it is played at are very true. So just in case if I have any family members who are listening to these type of stories and events, because they are basically based on my own experiences, as for my family's experiences, they can't excuse me for muddling some of the details and adding even more to the entertainment part. So, as without further ado, I would like you to go ahead and listen to, hopefully I hope it is one of the most scariest stories to date on this channel. And once again, I am your host Nick, and this is Valley Midnight. Grab your drinks and put your legs up. Red-Eyed Wolf. It was a cold, rainy winter when my father and Theos decided to play a little game. A game, we should say, that would later have consequences not only for themselves, but also my family for years to come. The cold winter rain continued to pour outside as one of my Theos brings out a board game. Ouija, it said on the front cover as it was being placed on the table. For hours they played the game, but unfortunately to this very day it is unknown to what questions they had asked. What I do know is but one simple truth. They never ended the game. Was it a mistake? Could they simply have forgotten about it? Maybe. But for whatever the reason, it never forgot them. A few days had passed since that night, as my father and Theos were now on their way back home to South Texas. It was still raining out in the bitter cold. Roads were slippery. Traffic was slow. A dense forest lined the entire road. Out in the distance, though, was a strange dark figure. One of my Theos spotted it at first, but soon lost sight of it as a flash of lightning came roaring across the sky. My Theo quickly cleaned the fog up window he caused by breathing heavily onto it, only to confirm nothing was there. A few hours passed. Traffic was now picking up at a faster speed when suddenly a truck ran into their vehicle. My Theos were both hurt badly, but my father, on the other hand, was in a fight for his very life. Rain was still pouring down on them as the car hissed as it had been turned over. Another roar, thunder, and a flash of lightning rippled across. My Theo was disoriented, but out of his blurred vision spotted something. It was the dark figure again, with two blood-red glowing eyes piercing right through the dense forest. My Theo closed his eyes and wiped off his face quickly to get a clear view, but it had vanished once again. Normally this would be the end of my stories, but in this case it continues to get much, much worse. Years pass as the figure slowly begins to get closer and closer and closer to my Theo. A summer night in his apartment, he is awakened by a sudden change in weather. Wind now howling through the window, he turns and faces the bathroom door. Closing his eyes, he hears it begin to crack open. It is the wind, of course, he thought to himself as he slowly opened his eyes. There they were. Blood red eyes glowing in the darkness, looking right at him. And first, the figure had no shape to it. Instead, it blended right into the background. My Theo now had his eyes wide open and was beginning to breathe heavily. Slowly, the dark figure was taking shape. A pointed nose, sharp-cut ears, and white teeth now bared in anger. It was a black, red-eyed wolf, growling and snarling as it approached. My Theo froze in place as it climbed onto the bed, fangs bearing down at him. A flash of lightning lit up the room with its real image placed into the shadow. What could it really have been, I wonder?